Hey, John, I'm an addict. Grateful to be clean. Due to my job, I didn't get to show up till Sunday at about noon, and did not at all feel a part of for the first 7 or 8 hours I was here. Just like, in everything else I've ever done, I started looking automatically for something to fill that void inside. I talked to people about going and catching a movie. I wasn't going to go catch the speaker. Do everything I can to keep that feeling of not being a part of. And fortunately, my higher power once again does for me what I'm unable to do for myself. And everybody kept turning me down. No one wanted to go, And sitting around a campfire last night till 5 o'clock, 5:30 this morning, and getting 6 months worth of recovery crammed into a 24-hour period of time. And the discussions didn't always stay on the spiritual side last night. And at one point I stopped and I said, this is who I am. I'm finally real comfortable being who I am and have an understanding of who I am, and I'm all right with that today. And then this morning I walk over to a cabin, and a friend of mine who's been struggling with that same issue says, what I came to this morning? I came to the understanding that I'm comfortable, that my skin fits, is what he said. And then we sat down in that group of men and we read that reading from this morning, and we all cried together and held each other. And if that's not being a part of and experiencing some spirituality firsthand, I don't know what is. You people saved my life once again, and I'll never be able to repay the debt to you. And I'm real grateful that I did have a chance to come down, even if it was for a short while, and that's all I've got.
Thanks.
My name is Michael, my addict. I'd like to thank my higher power for bringing me up to Camp Mac another time. And I just want to say, I want to thank the committees, whatever, and the people that put on, this event, because, it showed me whereas you can just be yourself. There's not any cliques or whatever, these people can do this and these people can't. Everybody was treated equal, whatever. And that's the blessing, of being clean today, And that's, God showing me that you don't have to be a certain way to be accepted, I'm just grateful for all the, the fresh air and the kindness and and how the people treat you, whatever, and it was just away from all the hustle and bustle, the sirens and kids, that too, a break from them, whatever, and just the peace of mind, that I got up here. Even though, it was raining, whatever, me and my fiance still said that still a blessing, to be able to do something like this and knowing, that you accept it. Being accepted means a lot, whatever, today, whatever. Because I know when I was in the dope house, I wasn't accepted like I was out here, you know what I mean? And it's a difference, and I like the way it was out here, whatever. And I'm definitely, if God is willing, and giving my strength and my health, I'm definitely coming back, because it's a pleasure, to be around a group of addicts like y'all. Thanks for letting me share.
My name is Therese, and I'm an addict. I had such a wonderful time here. Everyone was absolutely wonderful. This morning I saw, it looked like a big old raven out there. I was out really early this morning, and for the first time I got to see some little baby squirrels, and they were out there playing. And that was really awesome. And the raccoon that showed up at the talk last night with his mask on and everything, he fit right in. And I went over to the spot and saw the tree, and the symbolism of that crucifix is just so powerful on this holy ground. And I just really enjoy myself. This is truly God's world. This is truly God's land. And we are truly God's people. I love you all. Thanks for listening.
I'm an addict. My name's Robert.
Hey, Robert.
Blessed to be here today. This is my first time at Camp Mac, and it's been awesome. I don't want to leave. It's just the kindness that I've been shown since I've been here. Just the peace and serenity that I feel when I just look out the window, just looking across the water right now. It's just so peaceful, and like I said, I hate to go back, but the reality is I got to go back. But I got my armor on when I leave here. I'm equipped. I'm ready. I know what I'm going back to, but I got these memories that hold me till I get back here, and the sights, the tree, the walking the grounds, the sitting on the bench by the fireplace. I'm gonna remember all that. I'm gonna remember the faces. I'm gonna remember them hugs I got too. And I just feel truly blessed, just to be a part of this. And I don't want to ever lose this. And I don't want to ever forget where I come from. Thanks for letting me share. Thank you.
Hi, Pinak. My name's Ed. Hello. First, I need to thank my higher power, who I choose to call God, for another 24 hours clean and for allowing my feet to hit the ground this morning. Even though it was rainy, cold, and chilly outside, there was sunshine and warmth in these rooms of NA up here. And this is one of the getaways I look forward to, one of the NA events I look forward to. The minute I leave here, I'll be planning on coming back next year and what I'm going to be doing and who I hope to see everyone again. And I just tell you, this is a great place up here, and I can't wait for number 10. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Hi, my name is Trentell, and I'm an addict. First of all, I'd like to give thanks to my higher power, whom I choose to call God. And thanks, Michael, for bringing me here. I love you. We was reminiscing about this land, and it reminds me of where I'm from Alabama. And when I was growing up, how we used to play outside in the woods and just lay around and do nothing when you're young, and how wonderful it was. And it brought back a lot of memories. And all the people here are just so warm and friendly. And when I first got here and registered, the lady back there, don't know your name, but she was so nice and kind. I just thank God for being here today, and it's really, really great. That's all I have.
My name is Tina. I'm an addict.
Hey, Tina.
Hi, family. I'm real grateful to be here. Grateful to be clean in this process of recovery. This was my first time at Camp Mac. Also, this was my first time camping of any kind, for my whole life. And I had a fixed idea, by being on a lake. I'm gonna have to jump over snakes, and we're gonna pee outside, and I just had I was scared. I was full of what's going. I didn't have an open mind, and on my way up here, I was praying, for an open mind. And we got here at night, and it was real dark, and I couldn't see, and fear just got me, and just all of a sudden I was just. I was okay. I wasn't gripped like I was, and we went to bed and got up the next morning, and people were saying, good morning. I was like, wow, good morning. Just the real simple things, the hugs. I haven't got hugs like this before in a long, long time. I do conventions, and it seems like they're in their good clothes, so you can't get a real good hug because you might wrinkle up my hookup or whatever. I am so, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful, and I do also plan on coming next year. And just, all the messages that I heard was for me. I know I heard a workshop on balance, and I really was maintaining balance, and I was thinking, first I got to get some. And then, it's everything that I've heard has really, really helped me. When I go back to the home, and I was hearing somebody, I don't really want to go back either. It's like back to reality type of thing. But I can go back with a whole, I'm full now. I can go back refreshed, and I just really, really appreciate the experience that I had here, and I got a lot of love for this fellowship and you people, and I also look forward to seeing you next year. All right. Thanks.
My name is Phil. I'm an addict. This is my second time here. And I just want you all to know that I got the last cup of coffee out of a pot that's been brewing for 3 days. I remember where I came from. I'm looking around, and a lot of you know I got a few 24 hours. I look around the rooms, and I see people, some of which that I know the way this disease works, are not going to be here next year. They ain't even going to be in the fellowship. Some of them may not even be alive. So a while ago I started hugging a little bit differently. I read this book, and I finally got enough of that old shit out of here to where love and compassion were really in my heart, and I started greeting people and hugging them as if they were my long-lost brothers and sisters, because that's what we all are. And I stand before you a man that, not so very long ago sold every orifice in his body for drugs. Took all his kids' birthday and Christmas money for drugs. Like Lynn said last night, all I had to do was just come back and work the steps. It never amazes me that 2-3 days a week I sit in a room with people that at one point in their life were the meanest, baddest, nastiest fuckers on the face of the earth. And when they open their mouth, I just listen to the miracles, and I'm in awe. I am in awe. I am in awe. Who'd have thought us? Who'd have thought us? Huh? Us that wanted to kill ourselves. Us that woke up in the morning and did not want to live. Wanted to die by the end of that day, and usually by noon we're high as hell and hating ourselves for it. And here we sit, the blessed, the chosen. So maybe I'll see some of you next year. Maybe I won't. That's just how that is. And it ain't my job to save none of you. It only took me 19 years to find that out. But if you ask and reach out your hand, I'm well equipped. So you absolutely beautiful, intelligent, and deeply loved children of God. Maybe I'll see you next year. That's all.
All right. Thanks.
I'm Sharon, I'm an addict. Hi, Sharon. Hi, family. First year I came here, it was great. I was in awe. Next year I came back, I was depressed because I expected it to be the same. And third year I came back with no expectations and had a great time. And now I don't know if this is the fourth or fifth year. It's different every year. And it's nice seeing the same old people sometimes and seeing how they're doing and this year I let out some things that I have never ever let out with some very good friends that I have now. And I don't get along with women. And I used to say my sponsee sisters and sponsee family and sponsor was the only women I would ever talk to. And thanks to Janice and Maria and a few others. Some of them I don't even know their names, they just listen. And Bernie. What are my names so bad? Not that the guys are, any different, but I just never bonded with women. And this is the first year that I remember bonding with so many. And I took a walk out to the tree by myself this year. And usually if I'm talking to myself, people think I'm nuts. But I went out there and did what I had to do and came back, and I felt the proudest I've felt in years. Shannon's not so bad no more. Okay.
My name is Roger Nemanette. I'd like to thank God for allowing me a chance to make it back to Camp Mac. I enjoyed myself this year as always. I think this is about my third trip here, and it's like a spiritual feast for me. It's a lot of love, a lot of caring, a lot of sharing, and you just can't find it anywhere else. I was just blessed to be here. I thank God for the people here, the people that set it up, and just being a part of it, just being somewhere where you can feel your higher power's presence. It's just a blessing. And so let me share.
And I'm at it. And he's sitting there and I said, hey, Janet, I wasn't going to get up here. And he was sitting there swelling up with all this emotion and just thinking about, this is We Grow with Love, And it's been, 4 years for me now, coming here, and this year I found myself kind of reflecting on the past few years and where I've been in my life, and the last couple weeks I've been thinking a lot about the past and the people that I've had in my life in the past and the people that aren't there now, and feeling that loss in my life and mourning that. And the neat thing, and it happened to me last weekend, and I was sharing about this at another camp out, is that, people leave my life and it leaves this void, but God fills it very quickly. And He brings people that I need in my life, and they touch me, and I'm so blessed to have that, and just to be aware that, God is working in my life today, and it is a good feeling. It is. I really love this place, I'm always really stressed right until I get out of the car. And as soon as I put my foot on the ground, it's okay. No matter what was going on, it's okay. And, Sunday nights are real hard for me here because I'm always thinking I'm supposed to be going home, because that's normally the process Sunday. You're in that going home mode, and after the speaker, I'm like, I'm out of here, people were threatening to tie me down and all this kind of stuff, and I'm like, but it's okay. And I know if I'd have left, I would have missed this. This right here is one of the most special parts of this weekend, is being in this room at this time with all of you people. Thank you.
Hi, family. My name's Lisa. This is my second year, and I go to a lot of places. I go to a lot of conventions. I hear a lot of different messages of recovery, a lot of different ways it's carried, and I remember when I came here last year thinking, I haven't been camping in my adult life. I was a Girl Scout, but that was years way a long time ago, and how I'm like, I'm not going. And the only other comparison I had to like a camp I was even thinking about going was Tar Hollow, which, you know, where you are like in a cabin here and then you got to go up the hill to a bathroom, you know, like, no, I'm from Philadelphia originally, and I'm telling you, I need electric, I need a running water, you know, facilities. And when I was first thinking about like this retreat, I'm thinking, I'm not going over there with that stuff, you know, but I came back when Ben asked me did I want to come back and tape after being here last year. I was, you know, I was like, I really want to go, you know. And I remember last year thinking that I would go even if I had to pay all my money, I would come, you know, because I really, really enjoy it here. And I really got a lot of things this weekend. A lot of times I operate on ego and image, you know, and I don't want to let people see me and my humanness. Now here I am with my hair not done. That in itself is like a huge thing. I'm outside in public without my hair, you know, curled and no, nothing is on. And, you know, I didn't worry about whether, you know, all my creases were in a row. And, you know, like this is a place where I really come and I feel free. You know, I feel extremely free, liberated. It's gorgeous here, even when it was raining. Just like last year, I walked out to the tree. It was raining last year. It was raining this year. My feet were wet, and I didn't freak out. You know, I'm one of those people, oh my God, it was dirt on my shoes. And I mean, you know, I didn't run back. And, you know, Tammy was saying, well, do you want to go and change your clothes? And I know, no, I'm fine. You know, I'm just okay with this is a place where you can just come and be. You know, and I don't know about you guys, but I go a lot of places, and a lot of places I cannot just be. Some places I go, people don't even hug you if you're not looking a certain way, if, you know, they don't know you. And here, like, everybody says good morning, and we are all different shapes, sizes, we come from different backgrounds. I mean, you know, different colors, creeds, emotions, sexual preferences, none of that stuff. Really, what it talks about in our readings, I've actually experienced here, regardless of race, you know, identity, creed, religion, lack of religion, sexual, I mean, nothing. You know, it doesn't seem to matter here. It doesn't matter if you're slim or you're fat, you know, if you can, I mean, whatever, you know, it's like, what do you want to do about your recovery and how can we help? We grow with love, and I actually experienced love here. Thanks.
I'm an addict. My name's Ross. It took me a lot of years to be able to come to this part because I don't like to say goodbye. I really enjoyed some things I just heard because they reminded me one of the reasons I like to come to places like this and be with people like you, because I can be me, and there's a lot about me that took a long time for me to be okay with, and it's sitting around with people like myself and cutting up in the middle of the night or the middle of the morning, or being okay with that, you know, and learning to be comfortable in my skin, and I loved it when I was able to experience that, you know, and a lot of times I get caught up with everything going on in my life, and it's nice to be able to pause, take a breath, and just be. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Bonnie, and I'm an addict. Well, this is my first year, too. First year of everything of living, but I got here Friday night and I'm sitting at the campfire and there's people playing guitars and other people laughing, and I'm thinking, what have I gotten myself into? You know? And I decided that, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and be myself this weekend. And anyway, so I did that, and last night we had a little H&I thing over at a campfire, and my husband had come down, and my husband is a part of this because I am. Not maybe necessarily because this is what he wants, but you know, he comes here and all of you always make him feel he's a part of this. And we got done and we went back down by the campfire last night, and I said, well, what'd you think? And he says, you know, I don't really understand everything, but I do understand that you need to keep carrying that message. He says, here's all this unconditional love, just waiting, and people need to know that it's here. And it was really wild to hear that from him, because I didn't look at that and see that, you know, all these people love me, you know, imagine that. And to be able to love myself, you know, and that's, I think, what I always ever wanted, was just to love myself and feel good about who I am. And I'll be processing everything I've gotten out of this weekend for probably years, you know, but I've learned a lot, but I'm just really glad to be here, and I'm glad to share this with all of you, and I thank you for just opening your arms. And thanks.
Hi, my name is Andrea and I'm an addict. I just want to say I had a beautiful time. I met a lot of wonderful people. I had the opportunity to talk with Bonnie, and she just gave me a lot to go back with, along as well as, you know, other people here too, and I'm going to miss this place. Thanks.
I'm Frank and I'm an addict. I've been here 5 years in a row, loving each one more and more. I was never shared at this one because I was always too busy, always wrapped up in helping clean up and get things ready to, you know, be done with it. And kind of like Ross said, I don't like the goodbye part. This year I was very angry about this because I wasn't able to be a part of in the way that I normally was. But I talked to other addicts and it was okay, and I got myself here yesterday really not feeling part of. And I felt that way for a while. And talked to somebody last night, a fellow suffering addict, just having a tough time. And I told him about the unconditional love part. That I hear so many people say they don't get in other meetings, they don't get in other areas as much as we've got it here. You know, God put me where I needed to be, because I wouldn't have made it without that unconditional love. And one of the themes since I seem to have gotten here is, you know, it's okay to be yourself, you know, like we read this morning. You know, it hasn't been okay to be myself for a while. Today it is. You know, as some of you heard last night, I've got a fairly sick sense of humor. I have a crude side to me. But I haven't, it hasn't been okay to be me. And today it is. And I'm very grateful I came, because I needed to learn that again. You know, that's what saved my ass in the first place. And like I told that other guy before I understood it, you got to give the unconditional love in order to get it. You know, it's got to be about principles, not personalities. It's got to be about just loving each other as humans. And I'm very grateful you love me. And that's all I got.
I'm an addict named Kathy. And this is my first time out here, and my first time to really do anything major within the NA community. My experience in the past has just been hearing speakers when we go to the dance and go into the meetings, so I didn't quite know what to expect, and everybody kept saying to me, "You having a good time yet? You having a good time yet?" And I was having a good time, and I didn't know what to expect out of a workshop. It was different from what I thought it would be. I thought there'd be books, and it'd be like being in school, and I'd be taking notes, and but I got a lot out of the workshops, and the best part that I really liked was when they had the countdown, the sobriety countdown, and everybody's just saying, you know, keep coming back, stay. And then there was that person with 14 days, and when everybody just standing up, and I'm trying to hold back the tears, trying not to cry, because I'm just feeling so serene and feeling like I'm in a place where I belong. And me and my husband were talking amongst ourselves, and he says, "Well, are you having a good time?" Yeah. I says, "Well, everybody told me I'd see a raccoon, and I didn't see a raccoon yet." So I was glad that we seen the raccoon. So I guess that's nature's way, or a higher power showing its way to me, because I've been asking to have that shown to me, and so I've had that shown to me this weekend, and thank you for letting me share.
I'm an addict called Derek. This is my first year here as a full-time committee member, and I'm grateful to all of the people on the committee that really work hard to put this together every year. I took the easiest job. I'm just the secretary. All I got to do is show up at the meeting and take minutes, and then come here and enjoy it. But these people work really hard. And it makes it worth it, because all of you come here and you work really hard on your recoveries. You know, John was talking about being comfortable in his skin, and Ross talked about living in his skin. And what I've found is that every year I kind of measure where I've grown spiritually in a year here at this function, and I'm comfortable in my skin, but there's plenty of room for growth today. And I didn't do a whole lot of workshops, and I didn't go out to the tree, and I didn't do some of the things that I normally do when I'm out here, but I met a lot of people and fellowshipped, and I had the opportunity to help a couple of people who were enduring some difficulty when they were here. And God put me where He put me to do what He had for me to do, and He put all of you here to do what you had to do. And because God knows what He's doing and is in charge, we were all where we were supposed to be. And hopefully we'll all take whatever it is that we learned and grew from home with us. Thanks.
Thanks.
Hi, my name's Bernie, and I'm an addict. Hi, Bernie. You know, I told people last night that I was going to pack up last night because it's hard to be there and here at the same time. You know, so this year I decided to get that out of the way. you know, and you know, I really wanted to thank everybody for accepting our kids here this weekend, and my husband, you know, the way you've brought him in, you know, to the family here, because my husband's finally retired, and you know, one thing about addicts staying clean is if you stay clean, you get older. You know? And you bet. And you know, I remember when I first got clean, I thought, you know what, I'm going to be like 90 years old with a cane and holding it up to the speaker and sharing my experience, strength, and hope. You know, that was my dream. And my husband and I are at the middle ages now, you know, and this is our family. This is our kids, you know, and God's given me an opportunity to practice what I've learned on this so I can take it to my grandkids, you know. And another thing I wanted to share too about being able to leave that back there is that, and I shared a little bit of this out in front, and you know what, I'm going to do it now too. You know, this is what, you know, it's come in time, and it's come because when I first got here, it's like I had no me. I had no self-esteem, I had no nothing. I was whatever you wanted, and everything, my insides were judged by the way you saw it, you know. And it's taken me so long to get to the point to where today I'm getting to be comfortable with me where I was back in the 60s doing drugs. But today I don't got to do drugs to do it or to be that person. And this morning I was out there on the porch and I told him, you know what, this is this is where I you know, and he's brought me this far, thank God, to where I'm out there and I'm right here, no makeup, my hair's a mess, I haven't washed my hair in probably 4 days, I have no bra on, I have no underwear on, I've got a pair of men's sweats on, you know, and like I told him, I go, it's like, shit. Springtime's here, and now I got to think about start shaving my legs more often. You know? But what it is that right here at this retreat, this weekend is the first time in recovery I've been able to do that. Because the only way I can start working on myself, allowing you guys to know who I really am, I need to take all this other shit off first. You know? And this is the first time since I've been clean that I've been able to do that, you know, and I'm just trying to be happy, joyous, and free today. And to do that, it's like, I don't know whatever's going to come out of my mouth, but I know it's not what used to come out of my mouth, you know. So I'm just really glad you guys are here, and I look forward to this every year too, because it's the one place I can just come and be whoever I want, and this is where I learned to do it. I love you all. Thanks.
Thanks, Marty.
I'm Kim and I'm an addict.
Hi, Kim.
And grateful to be clean, grateful to be at Camp Mac once again. I just wanted to mention that there's a lot of people here that I hadn't met before, and I'm very glad I got to meet you. There's a lot of people who didn't make it here, and all weekend I've been thinking, you know, are they clean and somewhere else having fun, or are they gone, you know? And I miss those people, but God's given me the opportunity to meet all these new people, and I'm very grateful that you were here. Be very safe on the way home, and I'll keep coming back.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm not in trouble, am I? Go, girl. You are.
Right, yeah.
Hi, I'm Judy and I'm an addict. I don't like goodbyes either, so I was trying to get out of here, but Brian, you know, hornswoggled us back into the room. What I got out of this weekend was that I allowed myself to step out of the box. And I am grateful for the rain because the rain forced me to do that. I think the rain forced us to all bond more because we were kind of like stuck together. And you know, it was kind of like hard not to be around other people and not to be able to talk to other people. And so I'm grateful for that, that I took a risk and did a workshop, that I took a risk and got up and sang, that I took a risk and met people, that I took a risk and, just allowed me to be who I am. Somebody said this morning, how come you always look so together? I don't remember who it was, but somebody said that to me when, every time I see you, you're always together. And I'm like, you don't see me. I'm used to getting up and getting ready to go to work. When I'm home, I'm, kind of like Bernie. I could braid the hairs on my legs. And who cares? It's not important. I'm just real grateful to be here. To all of you that I met, Kathy, I just want to tell you, you touched my heart. You have so much. My husband and I were sitting back there and just saying, how you are just going to bloom, blossom, grow, and stand up someday and tell your story. And I just want to tell you that because I saw you get up there and sing, and I was like, well, damn, you go, girl. And I'm grateful that Tammy made it back, that I had the opportunity to meet you, because you're just good people. And of course, there's always Bernie. Bernie gave me her email address last time, which was 2 years ago. I didn't have a computer back then, and I thought I put it up on the board with all the other papers that we had put somewhere. Someplace there's somewhere in our house that has so much stuff, but we just don't know where that place is. So this time we have a computer, and so I asked Bernie to give me her email address so that this time now I can write to her, because I truly feel that she is a sister in recovery, and I respect you greatly, Bernie. And I'm just really grateful to be here. I respect you too, Mo. I'm really grateful to be here, to be a sister in recovery, to be a person in recovery, to finally allow myself to be who I tried so hard not to be for so long. So God bless all of you. I hope I see you next year, depending upon if I can get off or not, And I'm grateful I won a shirt last night. Yay! Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. I'm an addict named Tammy. This is also my first time here at Camp Mac, and I tell you what, it has truly been a blessing to me. Bernie, you have touched my heart when I met you, and I told you I had recently listened to a tape of yours, and then to meet you in person, and you kind of took me under your wing up here, and Judy, I thank you. It's awesome, being able to tape some of the workshops, and I taped your workshop and your husband's workshop, and you guys just love me, unconditionally. Every day it was like good morning. So many people, that I've met this weekend. And I don't like saying goodbyes either. I really don't. I didn't even want to get up here and talk, and Lisa kept pinching me. And telling me to get up. And Kim, I thank you too. You welcomed me when we first got in that night, and walked us to the cabin, It's been wonderful. It really has, and it's a blessing just to be able to make it back to the rooms, after staying out there for so long, and making it back. And I'm so grateful, to be a part of, And Shannon, I thank you too, just talking to you and getting the hugs from you and playing, and Maria, I don't know where she's at. I've met so many people here, and Tina, You know, we had an opportunity to share, you know, and it, you know, and I got real emotional, you know, and because I want to be tough and I don't want to let you know who I really am, you know. And this weekend I was able to do that and to take some risks and share some things, you know, and get in touch with some things. And we were talking like, you know, it's back to, you know, it's back to reality, you know. But the thing is now I got some more tools to work with, you know. And it never ceased to amaze me, you know, because I had an opportunity to even go to the convention in Cleveland, you know, but I'm glad I'm here, you know. I didn't have to worry about ironing. I'm an iron freak. You know, I brought my iron, and it was like I gotta iron my clothes. And I ain't ironed all weekend until this morning, you know. I wasn't coming out here wrinkled today, y'all. And it's okay. It's okay.
My name is Bruce. I'm an addict. This is my third year here. This is the first year that I was able to work in a capacity of helping with the convention. I probably got the most hugs of anybody here this weekend, but it wasn't about getting them. It was about giving them, and I really enjoyed giving every single hug that I did this weekend. And I've known something for a long time that I really need to let go of a lot of things and let God take over, and I've really realized that this weekend. And it's something that I really need to work on, and this weekend just made me realize that I can do that as long as I do it, and I have all of you wonderful people to help me do that. And I hate goodbyes too, because I know I got to go back home and be dad and, you know, everything, and when I'm here I can just be Bruce, you know, and that feels really good. That's all I've got. Thanks.
My name is Robert, and I'm an addict.
Hey, Robert.
I was asked to come up here. So, anyway, I'm truly glad to be here. And, you know, where I come from, they say men don't supposed to cry, right? Yeah. But right now, I got a lot of joy in my heart, and I'm real full. And the reason why I'm real full is because I'm grateful to be exposed to a place like this. I'm grateful to come to a place where you don't have to know people. You don't have to have on your, you know, alligator shoes or whatever. None of that. And I guess one of the things I got so much gratitude for is because I've never been able to, so to speak, I don't like to use the word, but I guess I have to use the word convince. Convince someone to come and try something that might change your life. That means a lot to me. And then for them to take the initiative to try that, you know, that means a lot to me. And through the years, it's been like that, you know, and I've always been a follower, not a leader. And me and my sponsor, I'm grateful for him. I'm grateful for my sponsees. I'm grateful for my friends that's in my life. And Teresa. And a lot of y'all might have thought this was my daughter, this is my granddaughter that you've been seeing me father, you know. Last year I couldn't come back. I could have came back. I made a decision to go to New York for the first time, and like the reason why it took me so many years to get to New York is because I still had that vision of what the streets was like in New York. And I wasn't ready to be exposed to that. And so when I got to New York last year, I was grateful to be there. And I said, wonder what took me so long, because those people showed me love, you know what I'm saying? So But this year I needed to come back and recapture this again. I need to come back, and one of the things I probably was telling myself is that I expected to see some faces that I hadn't seen or that I saw when I first got here. This is an undescribable place. You could try to say things that you know that might be the right things to say, but you just got to be exposed to this, you know. And I was mentioning, me and my sponsor was talking, and that, you know, this ain't for everybody. You know, this is not for everybody. There's some people I know that would get up here and turn around and go back home. you know, and so, you know, I guess my biggest joy is coming from the people that I brought with me, that it was their first time getting a chance to experience this weekend. I remember my first time. I don't know if it was supposed to have been in the program or not for this to happen, but it was something. We was all sitting around, and in 1998, and we were sitting around like this, like we doing now, and people were sharing. And I don't really believe it was part of the program, but I thought it was just a nice thing they were doing, like what we're doing now. And each time we came back, my sponsee and I had said that we wasn't going to miss nothing this time, you know. And so I'm grateful to be a part of this. I'm just grateful for whatever lessons I've learned. A lot of the lessons that I learned this weekend probably won't just show up right now. It'll be somewhere where, it'll be some time when I'm living my life on its own terms, and something good will pop up, and it'll be a moment I got a hug from a person that I wasn't expecting to get a hug from. And I just like to thank the committee. I like to thank for all the hard work. It don't look like y'all doing a lot of hard work, but I know, you know, you don't just throw these together. You know what I'm saying? It's that work you do behind the doors. It's that time when you want to be somewhere else and you got to be at a meeting. You know, see, a lot of people don't see that. You know what I'm saying? It's those days when you really don't want to go to the business meeting, or you really don't want to show up, Bruce. You know what I'm saying? Or you was on the telephone when I was calling you and asking you, would you send me some literature and send me some information? You were saying, Robert, yeah, and I hadn't even met Bruce. You know what I'm saying? But he was there. You know what I'm saying? Just call me back, Robert. You know, and so you keep coming back to Narcotics Anonymous. That's the gratitude probably I have for the most part, is just to know that I could not go without letting those people know in that kitchen how much work they have done. You know what I'm saying? Everybody need to applaud them. Everybody need to just go and love them and hug them. And you know what I mean? It's work to do. You know, and everybody is willing. You know what I'm talking about? Willing. And one lady said this morning, she said, she asked us, would y'all like to stay 3 or 4 more days if we had the food? Other words, she was saying to me that she appreciated our presence. That's a powerful message. That's a powerful message, you know what I'm saying? And I know everybody has to go to their workplace and do what they have to do. And a lot of times we just don't get the recognition. We just be out there, because for us, addicts like us, you know what I'm saying, what we doing is an accomplishment. It's hard work, and sometimes we just be hustling and bustling and thinking we taking this thing for granted. But for us, I don't know about y'all, but when I get up some mornings, I want to give up. Not get up, I want to give up. You know, and I have to ponder myself and tell myself, come on, it's okay, pull yourself together, Robert. There's something greater than you out there. So let's go see, you know what I'm saying? And I do still today. I wake up every morning, I'm wondering what I can do to make Robert feel better. That's an everyday job for me, every day, because I had to find some hope in what the day has to bring. You know, I lived the other way for so long, you know. So I'm grateful to be here. I'm truly glad to be alive today. I went down to the chapel last night for the meditation. I went back this morning and sat down there. And, you know, Teresa's been helping me, and my sponsee has been helping me, and you all has been helping me with knowing that one of the things that I really want to connect with the most in my life right now, and that is knowing that God is healing us, you know, all the time. You know, from whatever your wreckage is, from whatever is going on that you're struggling with internally, there's something greater than us that can heal that. Thank you.
I'm Johnny and I'm an addict. I'm grateful to be here and grateful to be clean. I think the thing that I learned the most this weekend was that by exposing me to you, I find out about me. You know, I did some things right this weekend and I did some things wrong this weekend. And I can recognize some of it now. Okay? Okay. Some of it I couldn't recognize at the time, but I'm grateful that I can recognize it now.
My name's David, I'm an addict. Love you guys, thanks.
My name's Janice and I'm an addict. I won't share what I could share about David, but
Not my butt.
no.
Program was that?
It's nothing about his butt. It's all right. I've got some really good things this weekend. Number one, I've never been up here before. I've been to this, I don't know, 4 times I think I've been here and never been up here. Thank you, ladies. But all I keep thinking about, what did I get this weekend? And I've always had a really hard time taking compliments. I've learned to say thank you when somebody compliments me. I've had several people this weekend come to me and say, I need you to talk to this person. I need you to share your experience with this person. And I've had people come to me and say, I need to talk to you later because you can help me with something. It feels really good. It's still hard to accept that, you know, that people see my recovery and they think I'm doing something right. When I came here last year, I was just in a horrible space and I didn't want to open up to anybody, and it was the last day. I think it was even after the reflections, and we're sitting around, and you know, Lisa was the speaker last year, and I'd heard her share, and you know, she'd really touched me, but I still wasn't willing to break down that wall and talk to anybody. And she was kind of sitting across the room. There were a few people mingling in here, and we started talking, and I just let it go. You know, I let it all out, and you know, we've kept in contact all year. We've been friends ever since. That's real powerful to me, to have somebody that can help me. I mean, not that y'all don't help me in my recovery, but to have somebody that I can really let go with and say, this is who I am, and I'm okay with that. So this weekend, I've learned to look at me and say, I'm okay. That's all I got.
Thank you. You're really good at crying.
And I'll share that David was my first sponsor. And without him, I don't think I would have made it here.
All right.
I win.
Don't all come at once.
Hi, my name's Wendy and I'm an addict.
Hi, Wendy.
I heard a woman share yesterday about having a resentment and seeing someone and that they had a resentment to and that they'd made an amends and how they handled that. And I thought, God, I'm never going to get there. Because I would be one that would want to still beat on that person. You know, instead of just saying thank you and walking away. God, I'll never make it. I'll never make it. And I lost a sponsor, first to unwillingness to the program and then to death. And so I sat still for a long time in my program. And I beat myself up about that for a while too. And I found out that because I did that, I sat still and I found out who my God was. Okay? And that's what Anna gave back to me, was my God. And he takes care of me in every way. Because we didn't know up until Friday if we were going to get here this year or not. Because of our finances. And he even takes care of that. Because some of you that know me know we have like 1 million kids, so that's something we never have a lot of, but this year is extremely bad, so. But he took care of us and he got us here, and not only did he get us here, but we had extra, and we could help other people when we were here, and it felt so good. And I had somebody that had 16 years clean tell me this morning before they left, I helped them. And so I said, God, I am grown. And I also watched that person help another person yesterday. Gave them something that they needed so bad. And that's how God works in this program. You know, that's what he does. I get to see what miracles he can do, little miracles all the time. So I'm glad I got to get here this year. Thanks for letting me share.
Thank you, Wendy. Love you. Thank you for the bread, Wendy.
My name's Ryan, I'm an addict.
Ryan.
I've been dreading coming to this year for about a month now. Scared out of my mind. And up until that I kept sharing it and people kept telling me, go. It'll be alright. But fear is a real struggle. But I got here. And I started out by doing what I needed to do. Because there was a reason I came here. And I got through it. And above and beyond that, I got through it clean. And I learned something about myself, about who I am. And that blew me away. Just left me in awe. But so I spent a weekend being who I am. What I'm comfortable being. And to my surprise, I had people love and accept me for who I am and who I choose to be today. And that blew me away. And this place is great because so many addicts gather here in the process that in one weekend, not only did I get to become comfortable with who I am, but I got to share that with the same person who told me I had something to share. And it just brings me back of how amazing this process is. And I'm grateful that each and every one of you stayed clean with me today.
Thanks, Brian.
I'm an addict by the name of Charina.
Hey, Charina.
And it's like last year when I left from up here, I told myself I'm coming back no matter what. You know, once I moved to Indiana, got my job, I told them right off the jump, a weekend in May, I'm gone. You know, and it's like, I felt so good being out here last year, and this year is just even more wonderful than it was before. You know, just like Mo said, as soon as I step one foot down on the ground, it's something totally different. You know, and I'm truly happy to see all the faces that are here, that was here last year, the new faces this year, and hope to see you next year. Thank you.
Anybody else?
My name is Mike, and I'm an addict. Hi, everybody. I'm still grateful to be here today. You know, I sat over there and I had my heart touched many, many times by what people got up here and shared. And the one thing that brought tears to my eyes was when Phil shared that he knows in the back of his mind some of us won't be here next year, you know. I've been a member of this fellowship like Phil for quite a few 24 hours, and what he spoke was the truth, you know. I'll share what I got out of this weekend here in a couple minutes, but I just want to share 2 or 3 things that kept coming to my mind while I listened to everyone else share. The first is that this thing we call recovery is a spiritual journey, and the difference between spirituality and religion is that religion's for people that don't want to go to hell, and spirituality is for those of us that have been to hell and don't want to go back. Okay? You know, the second thing that I want to share is that God did not know what to do with all of us, so he gave us each other. Period. He didn't have a clue of what to do with any of us. The third thing that I want to share is I keep sitting in meetings back home in Anderson, over in Muncie, in Indianapolis, and in different places when I get there. And, you know, it just seems to me over the years, watching people come and watching people go, that people run up in the meeting rooms looking for this secret. But the secret really is running your ass up into those meeting rooms and staying there. And not leaving no matter what. You know, and you know, I'm real grateful to once again have been a part of a spiritual weekend like this. I was real grateful to share in a workshop, but I was just real grateful to be up here, period. Because when I come up here, I get my batteries charged, okay? Once again, I feel the pulse of this program. You know, once again, I watch people, including myself, gain bits and pieces of knowledge over the course of a weekend that just may save our ass when we're busy trying to live life on life's terms, okay? And I see that every year that I come up here. And for me, this is just a weekend where I'm totally relaxed. The minute I pull into Camp Mac, the rest of the world doesn't exist. You know, this just may be really a 4-day period of time that I meditate, because when I get up here, the outside world doesn't exist. And it's real neat to take that kind of break from the rat race that I live in and come from, you know. And if nobody has told you yet today, I love you. And if you don't love yourself, keep coming back, and we'll love you till you learn to love yourself. That's all I got.
Anybody else?
Last chance. We'll close with a group hug.